Taking us higher. Step inside, don't be shy tonight. We're connecting hearts live on the mic. Let's talk, let's talk, let's talk. Everybody come and let's talk, let's talk. We got stories, let's talk. We got stories, let's talk. Let's talk. Ooh, yeah. Let's talk. Ooh, yeah.
Hello and welcome to The Talk with Tariro. Today on the show we are saying,
What's up, good people?
what's up, good people? We have the creative behind the African Finder. When we talk about young Zimbabweans being creative, being innovative, showcasing who they really are, we are talking about somebody like Marvelous. Welcome to The Talk with Tariro.
Thank you so much for the invitation. I'm honored to be here.
Who is the African Finder? I can't even say we is Marvelous, because if we say Marvelous, people are like, huh? You're known as the African Finder.
Yeah, true.
Who is the African Finder? How did he find himself? How was he founded?
The African Finder is still on a journey to also find himself. So behind the African Finder is a very, very young man with good skin. And his name is...
I like Brax.
His name is Marvelous Nyongoro. I'm an entrepreneur and a creative and a digital storyteller from Zimbabwe. I tell stories of African travel, African food, African experiences.
What really motivated you to tell yourself to say, I want to tell a story about African food, African places, African resorts, everything that's the African Finder?
All right. Thank you so much for that question. My passion really came from an angle of anger. You go on the internet right now, you search Zimbabwe as a country. You go on images, the first thing you're going to see that's highlighted is things to do with the struggle, the poverty. You search any African country, whether it be Ghana, Malawi, Nigeria. This is the image of Africa that they want the world to see. I was angered by that, but also it is not up to them to paint the narrative of Africa that truly exists. It is up to us as Africans. It is up to you as a Zimbabwean, Botswana, South Africans, for us to be able to tell the authentic story of Africa. And I asked myself a question, okay, this is what exists on the internet, but it's not really a true representation of what Africa is. We are more than our struggles.
Yes.
We are more than the poverty, the mud. Every country has that, by the way. Even in Europe, there are people who are struggling. But what they've done with their countries is they have painted this narrative of glitz and glamour. And we look at that and we admire that, leaving the beauty that we have here at home. So I took it upon myself to be one of the people who tell the positive narratives of Africa. Our food is great. Our places are great. The culture, the people, we're welcoming, we're warm. Africa is such a beautiful continent. And I took it upon myself to be like, let me create content, not just content, but let me storytell in a way that inspires not the world only, but Africans to also be curious about their own continent, explore it, discover it, and share it with the rest of the world.
And when you're looking at your content from the time that you started to where you are now, we're actually seeing a complete transition. It's completely different now. What has motivated you?
Okay. Thank you so much for the question. And I think what motivated me to change my style of content and to grow as a creator, it's been through observation, feedback, and also I stopped creating content to trend. I started to create content with a purpose.
Wow.
So as a creator, when you're starting, I think you're trying to find your voice in a pool of so many people who are creating content. And it's so easy to get distracted to try and go viral. A lot of people want to go viral. But after I started sharing particular experiences, whether it be in a restaurant, at a resort, going to a hotel, I figured that people were connecting with it emotionally. It was the engagement and the way that people were commenting. And I decided to pick a line, stick to it, and expand on it. And that's what motivated me to grow, the emotional connection behind that particular type of content and the audience.
You know, with a lot of young people who are getting into content creation, use of social media for business, for advancing a certain purpose, most of them lose it through wanting to trend and just continue trending.
Yes.
Could you expand more around that so that you could actually assist young people where you're saying, know your purpose, then run with that than just wanting to trend, because it can fizzle out any minute.
Yes. So the thing with trends is social media moves very fast.
Yes.
It is so easy to get carried away. It is so easy to be swept away from your core. And I think at some point, and a lot of people may not even know this, I was dancing on TikTok and yes, I was dancing and singing on TikTok, because that's the trendy thing. You want to be discovered. There's always that thirst to want to be popular quickly and want to be known. But whenever you get into content creation, don't let the goal become being popular. Don't let the goal become chasing views and chasing virality. Even when it comes to securing brand deals and partnerships, they're not after who's the most viral. They're after who is able to communicate the message. They're after who is creating content with value. And people actually see content with value, not being viral. So building a very loyal audience and a loyal community around your brand, you really have to be intentional about what sort of storytelling, what sort of value are you giving the audience. If you just want to trend, you can trend and you can burn out tomorrow. You can't be a leader of opinion tomorrow if you're just somebody who's chasing trends.
Oh my God.
But if you want to become a leader within your particular sector and your particular field, you have to pick a line and stick to it.
Young people, even adults, I'm sure you've learned something from the African Finder. A lot of people actually are losing the plot through wanting to trend, and you forget the reason behind you creating whatever content that you are creating. Because if you trend, like what you said, you can trend for a while. Trends come and go. But if you've got a purpose, then you can stay the course. Stay tuned. Welcome back. As we continue with our program, we have the African Finder on the Talk with Tariro, and we are saying, what's up, good people? Let's watch him in action.
Sup, good people? Let's make Sadza and Matemba, aka Kapenda, for my sister, my friend, and one lucky fan. Welcome back to my cooking series where I make simple meals to celebrate life's happy moments, big or small. Today I was hosting 3 people, and it's a party. Well, sort of. My lucky fan for today wanted me to prepare for her Sadza and Maguru, or Sadza and Matemba, with Kapenda being the first option. I opted to cook Matemba because they're quick and easy, and honestly, ain't nobody got money for that electric bill when you cook Maguru.
So the African Finder, you spoke about identifying your purpose and telling yourself, this is what I want to do. But for me, I'm saying, how did you then find your niche to then say, I'm going to be looking at? You spoke about how our story is third world countries, as developing countries, is always being portrayed in a negative way. And there are different aspects that you could have focused on. Why did you choose food? Why did you choose resorts, your niche? How did you come up with your own niche?
Okay. I chose my niche really through observation. I observed how people were emotionally connecting to that particular type of content. You can see the thirst for information. You can see the hunger as people actually want to discover the continent. This is because it really then showed me that there was a gap. There was something that was lacking. And I took it upon myself to then say, it is up to me and a lot of other creators to fill that gap, to be able to show Africans that our continent is beautiful.
Yes.
And I also believe the hunger emanates from that situation I described, whereby you go on the internet, a lot of our content is very Americanized. You go on, you watch movies, most of the things, they're Americanized. There isn't anyone really pushing the African narrative. And even the shows that push African narratives, they're very Western. And even as we watch them, you can tell the fake Nigerian American accent on TV, right? You can tell they always have an African accent that embodies everything. When you go onto the international platforms and you ask them about African cuisine, and good thing for the Nigerians, they think Nigerian cuisine is African cuisine. Even though we are one people, but we're so diversified and we have so many things we can offer. And I saw this hunger for information, and I saw this passion that people had whenever I experienced a resort, whenever I experienced a cultural place, whether going to the museum to talk about the history of Africa, or even just getting into a restaurant. And that's how I was able to identify that particular niche based on the emotional connection that people were having with that particular type of content that I was putting out.
So how do you select the places to feature? Because some of the places that I was, when I was going through your platforms, I'm like, what? We've got this place in Zim. I stay in Highlands and I saw some tea place and I'm like, huh? Where is this place? How do you identify
This is right
all
next
those?
door.
Yeah, you know?
This is again feedback. This is feedback from the audience, right? You realize that if you try to go on Google and try to search some of these places, you may not actually discover them. But it takes a community, I guess, for information to pass around.
Yes.
So when I post a video, I'll get other people recommend places from within their own neighborhoods, or places that they've been to, or places that they know. And then I start researching upon those places and then pay them a visit and put it out there for the audience to consume. Yeah.
The big question that people normally have, especially with young people, whenever you're doing anything, is the issue of monetization.
Okay.
Have you managed to monetize your business as an African finder?
Platforms. So first of all, TikTok does not have a content creator fund for Africa.
Yes.
TikTok only has a content creator fund for 7 countries in the entire world. Instagram isn't monetized anywhere in the world. It's Facebook that will get you monetized. My Facebook is monetized, luckily enough, but it also takes a lot of momentum and building to get to that particular stage.
Yes.
With TikTok, people have ways around it, VPN and so forth, although it's a long shot, but there are ways that you can go around the system to get monetized, which is quite unfortunate because as Africans, we always have to prove ourselves 10 times over to get paid. What someone in America is doing bare minimum to get paid. So that is one way of getting monetized. Another way of getting monetized is through brand collaborations, through brand deals. You can secure brand deals, and how you secure brand deals is really up to how you are putting out your content and how you present yourself, how you go out there, and what value are you giving that particular brand. So you could be, let's say, a fashion creator. You're creating content to do with fashion and clothing. You can actually send an email to Zara or Gucci or whoever, right? And show them value. If you show them value, they can sponsor you either through merchandise or they can sponsor you through money. Yeah.
So for you, are you being paid for the work that you're doing? I'm asking this because with a lot of young people, the idea is to say, I want to be employed for me to be able to survive.
Okay.
But for you, when I'm looking at you, I can see that you created employment for yourself.
Yes.
The way I'm looking at it.
Yes.
So I want this to actually serve as a motivation to other young people to say, you don't need to go and be employed by A or B, but you can also self-employ yourself.
Okay, yes, I am a consultant, as you see me here. So what I've done for myself is I've built value around, the expertise that I have, the travel, hospitality, basically, and I consult hospitality businesses. That's how I have monetized my brand, by going in to consult people on digital marketing, helping them create digital marketing services, digital marketing campaigns. I've worked with a couple of brands behind the scenes. So when it comes to the restaurants and, the hotels, it's not really money, to be frank, if I'm being honest. I'm not really being paid cash up front, but then I have other services, like I talked about, the consultancy, that I then offer to those particular brands. And then so it's like an exchange of services. That's how I've managed to monetize my brand. Yeah.
Indeed, that's the African Finder with us. I'm sure, I wouldn't want to think it's just young people, but even us as adults, there are one or two things that we're actually picking from him and learning from. And after the break, I would want to find out, how does he continue maintaining this figure with the way that he's constantly and always eating? I'm hoping that after this episode, at least I can be taken to 2 or 3 places so that I can also be eating from all those places. Join us after this short break. Welcome back. We continue with our discussion on the Talk with Tariro. We have the African Finder. What I want to find out is, say usurukufuta because you're ever eating.
Fun fact, I have gained weight. If you look at my old videos from like 3 years ago, and now I am very different. I think I've gained 3 kilos?
That's it. With the way that you always, and not just eating any food, but delicious meals that you can't live in your
large potions as well. Large potions. You put a small potion in my plate. We're not gonna do it. Anyway, it's been a balance. It's been a balance of keto, gym. I have posted some gym videos before.
Yeah.
And, people didn't believe it, but I do actually do a lot of cardio. And also I do a lot of bunting. Okay. And I restrict myself on carbs. Like right now I'm on a carbs diet.
Okay.
I haven't been eating carbs in a while because my weight does tend to fluctuate and come down. There was a time I went to the United States. I gained the most amount of weight.
Yeah, that's a notorious country.
Within a very short period of time. The clothes that I went with to the United States couldn't fit, and I had to get an entire new wardrobe. When I came back, that is when it hit me that, oh wow, okay, my body does actually respond to food. I need to go to the gym, and I started doing gym. So it's just, but in the gym, I'm not lifting weights or anything. I'm just doing cardio. Yeah, Zumba classes, dance classes, getting on the bike. Difficult stuff, but it has to be done. The sadza has to burn.
So where has African Finding, where has it taken you?
It has taken me to places and spaces that if you told me 3 years ago that I would be, I wouldn't have believed you.
Yeah.
It has opened so many doors for me personally, and even to the benefit of my family and friends around me. I've been able to do things that I actually didn't think I would do. These are different tourism boards. I've engaged different tourism boards from South Africa, Rwanda, Dubai. I've been engaged with different organizations. It took me to the United States. I went on a trip to the United States for 2.5 months. I've been to different countries now. I've worked with Afrexim Bank. Afrexim Bank took me to Rwanda, Kenya, and Egypt.
Wow.
It's been such an amazing, amazing journey. Yeah.
And for some young people who are watching you right now and are trying to find their own niche of what they can do, and not necessarily copying, because that's one thing that we are also notorious for as Zimbabweans, to just say, I've seen someone doing this. Next year, seeing somebody who's also imitating, trying to be you.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. Authenticity. What would you advise them?
You mentioned something very powerful, authenticity. Be as authentic as You absolutely can. Right now in 2026, right, in this digital economy, in this digital world, everybody has access to a smartphone.
Yes.
Right? Everybody can at least, the majority of the people can get an iPhone. People can get great quality cameras. People can have videographers record them. There's so many editing tools. You don't even need to be a professional to edit a great video. There are templates available on different apps. So anyone can stitch together an amazing video and put it out there. Anyone can dress nicely if they want to. But what then separates you from this pool of all creators, from this pool of everybody trying to break out and make it, is that one thing that nobody has, and that is you, your voice and your sauce, your character. No one can be you. No one can have my voice. No one can have my aura. No one can have my character. And that is what I hammered on mostly, and I stuck to it by being authentic to it. So the moment you try to copy me, you're trying to be a version of me, and you're leaving you. So you need to be you in whatever you're doing, whether it's content creation, whether it's at your workplace, whether it's within your business. Be you. Nobody can be you. Everybody can do everything else. They can take nice pictures, they can do whatever, but nobody can be you. So in a world where everybody is trying to be everybody else, be you. Just be authentic, do your things authentically, and people will, and the thing about people is people can read it. We can tell that this one is trying to copy that guy. You know, this one is trying to copy this person's style. But when you're just unapologetically yourself, when you're African, you're Zimbabwean, and you're proud to be who you are and where you come from, and you do your things with passion, people can also pick it up and people will vibe on that energy. That's why at times when you have certain people try to copy other people, right? You're like, I have my quality, the content of, you know, the quality of their content is actually better than the original. But the original keeps blowing up and growing bigger. And they keep remaining small, you know, and they're probably asking themselves, why am I not growing as fast as this person? Why are they getting more deals than me? That's because they're being them and you're not being you. You're trying to be them. So be you, stick to what you do, and do it best. Yeah.
And for some businesses who might actually be watching you, is it you who looks for places, or I can actually say, African Find, I've got my restaurant, please come and sample some food. How does it work?
They can reach out to me. They can reach out to me because the thing is with my calendar, right? I'm planning my calendar. There's the African Finders calendar, and then there's Marvelous's calendar, which is the personal time I also need to take, the break I need to take from content creation. I also have family at home. They need my attention. I have friends and I have a life.
I like that. I've got a life.
Yeah,
and life has to be lived.
Yeah, and life has to be lived outside of the cameras. So I may miss out your place, right? And in the hopes that, you know, maybe in Jandarika by your place, it may take you 3-4 months, right? Or it might take even the whole year. And you might think African Finder selective. Why doesn't he come to my place? Reach out, feel free. There's an email on my page. Yeah. Literally you can DM and I can respond to the DM and we can organize and I can be there. That's the fastest way to get to me. Send a message and I'll respond.
And as we wrap up, just in a minute, besides the African Finder, so who is Marvelous? You said I've got a life, and I like that because that was my last question. So who's Marvelous?
Marvelous is the guy who keeps to himself. He likes singing at home.
Really?
Right, I know.
Let's stay.
I know. I feel like my energy always. So when people meet me, right, people expect me to be in a club every Friday, partying, on a plane. Well, I mean, I'm always on a plane, but on a plane, traveling, creating content with cameras. But the real me, or at least part of me, because this is also me. This is a fragment of who I am, right? It's not the full picture. The other part of me stays at home, drinks wine, cooks steak, you know, watches TV, reads novels, and I value personal connections, and I value, you know, bonding with people, and I value, you know, family. Yeah.
Thank you so much, African Finder. Thank you so
thank
much,
you so much for
Marvelous,
having me
for
here.
coming and being with us. I'm sure we've drawn so many lessons from Marvelous. For me, when I'm looking at him, he's a son to me, but I've learnt a lot from him, and I'm sure that also applies to you. It was a pleasure having you, and we are hoping that one day, as they talk with Tariro, we will actually come and capture you in action. And so we are saying, what's up, good people? So we're saying bye-bye, good people. Thank you so much. Until next week, it's goodbye.
We got stories, let's talk. Let's talk. Ooh, we got stories, let's talk.
Morning light and the cameras rolling, people smiling, conversations flowing.
From the city streets to the worldwide